Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily. It's Des here. Who's ready for a brand new week? Who's ready to attack it with such positivity? Definitely am this week for a couple of reasons. A couple I'll come back to a bit later, but to get things off this week, really trying to put last week behind me a little bit. Whilst I was okay, whilst I was getting about the things I was doing, got in plenty of activity, I was in good enough state of mind to realise what I needed to do at certain times. The memory of people I'd lost, one of those tricky periods in time for me, just over the last couple of weeks was the anniversary of certain people's passing, so it was obviously going to affect me, but like I said many times throughout last week, it's important to use the inspiration they gave me, and ironically enough, those people who had passed at the time was all massive inspirations. People who had a real effect on what I do now and really sort of drive me to do whatever I can to make things better for myself and for those around me. So it's important to remember that and be positive from it. Use the adversity to take it forward. And of course, it's what those people would want. That's why I've taken so much from them, the way they acted, the way they conducted themselves. So it's important for me to be positive for that, but also following the government announcements a couple of weeks ago, I think where people were riding that small wave of excitement and anticipation about the lockdown restrictions easing, I just think that's died off a little bit. I'm getting the sense from people around me, from unfortunate news on the television that it's just rubbing off a little bit and people are slumping back into a bad place. So I think it's important to try and pick people up around me, to try and give it a real go, to try and throw out some positive vibes, because today is the first day of easing. Whilst it doesn't affect everyone, the kids are back at school. That's a definite plus. They need that. We all know how important it is for their mental health, to see their friends and to be involved in things. But also we can meet one other person, and whilst I'll keep encouraging activity with one other person, you can actually just go for a coffee with them now and meet outside. It doesn't necessarily have to be recreational. So there's slight changes, so we can only make these things in small steps, can't we? We realise how important it is. I'm sure nobody's really doubting that these days. Whilst it's frustrating, whilst some might argue against certain things, I'm sure we realise how important it is to take it slowly, to make sure we're all okay. And of course, the biggest benefit every day right now is that total of vaccinations going up. I think the last I saw before I came out was 22 million. See, that's a huge percent of the population. So once that sort of doubles again, we're almost there, and hopefully by then, all the things that have been laid out in the roadmap are available to us again, and we can really be positive. And like I say, after the year we've had, it's time we got on top of this. We really pushed on and started thinking about what we can do rather than what we can't, not being defined by the past. And that's kind of something I'm going to come back to as well a little later for Monday Motivation. But as ever, what I like to do is encourage you to get out there, get in some activity. I've just come out for a walk to do daily, found a gap in the showers. It's actually quite nice at the moment, but a little bit chilly, but fantastic to be out for a walk, perfect conditions. And I always say on a Monday, getting out there, getting the week off to a flyer always puts you in a good frame of mind. You get all those endorphins flowing, you feel like you've achieved something already, and I can guarantee you it'll put you in a better position to really attack the week, get plenty of activity and make the absolute most of it. Tomorrow we've got the Do Running City Slickers Solidarity session, a chance to get involved as a group. Whilst it is a virtual session, we can do it in solidarity. We can meet at 6:30 wherever you are, whatever activity you choose, but knowing other people are getting involved sometimes just does the trick. Lots of people have taken so much from that. When they're not feeling fantastic, they use it to get themselves out there. They use the structure. They can prepare and plan for something at that particular time, and when you are feeling fantastic, even better, just another opportunity to get out and get involved. If you can't do 6:30, that's all well and good, but what we are trying to create is a team effort, so if you can, please join us. It's all about the Tuesday training. I'd never discourage anybody from taking part in activity, but as the nights are drawing out, try the best you possibly can to get involved. I understand some are a little bit uneasy and when it's dark and don't necessarily live in the right place, which is most accommodating for that, but like I say, with those nights drawing out, with the weather improving, it's a real opportunity to be part of what we do. And that's just the start of it, really, in terms of activity on DOdaily. On Wednesday, we've got the Wednesday workout. For the last few weeks, we've been staging the Do Running 10,000 steps a day challenge. Throughout Lent, we're trying to do all 40 days of Lent. It's going fantastically well. I was doing the totals this morning from the weekend, and 20 of the guys have managed 6.2 million steps. That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Way more than I even imagined, I ever imagined. But it's fantastic because it's making people accountable. It's giving them some purpose each day. And it's also offering some achievement. When you've done it, you can sit back, safe in the knowledge that you've done whatever you can to try and stop on top of your physical health, to improve your mental health, and to know you've done something. That feeling sometimes of completing something, as well as all the benefits of being part of a group effort, it's absolutely fantastic. On Thursday, we've got Thursday Thoughts, the live session where I look to answer your questions. It's me getting out my comfort zone. You can ask me whatever you like. Please email des@dorunning.org.uk or post on any of the comments on any of the videos. I'll pick them out, quite prepared to, like I say, to answer whatever you want me to. It's just small bits of information that might help. I try to draw off my experience, my knowledge, even off of my opinion, just honest and relatable stuff. Most of it you could probably find elsewhere in depth if you really want to, and if I do any research, I tend to post the links from where I got it from, so you can get a bit deeper into it. But like I say, it's just an opportunity to get perhaps a few nuggets of information, bite-sized sort of amounts, not too much to digest, and the chance to sort of get involved as well by asking me your questions. Normally I would have asked a throwback question, but bit of a schoolboy error last week. I actually forgot, during the episode. So we've not got one of those this week, but I'll be looking to create another one this week. And again, it's an opportunity for you to get involved in something, for you to support what I'm doing, for you to sort of pass on your thoughts, so we can try and motivate and inspire others. And that's what Thursday Thoughts is all about. Well, that's what DOdaily is all about, to be honest, isn't it? But then we've got Wake Up to Walk on Friday, where I'll be out and about at a different location, getting up and attacking the day. Last Friday I was at a place called the Hemlock Stone. Whilst the thing I went to see was a little uninspiring, a local landmark, I got in a great walk along the Nottingham Canal. It was the secondary reason for going mainly, but that was actually the best part of it. So again, it was just a pleasant surprise, but somewhere where I could get up early. I use it to think about what I'm doing, to prepare for the weekend, so I can go get into whatever I'm doing on a Friday, knowing that a tough week's behind me, and I can look forward to the things I do, really sort of let things sort of fall by the wayside and make the most of some time out in the fresh air, and all the benefits that give. So if you can join me for that, absolutely fantastic. Some of the guys absolutely love that. Check out a picture at the end of today's video, actually. A guy who loves what I do there, who lives in Israel, incidentally. He likes the Friday post, he likes the pictures. He sent me a picture from Israel, so I'm going to post that up on the end. Really enjoyed receiving that, so thank you to Nick for that. But yeah, it's just a chance for me to take pictures and do all the things I love, first thing in the morning, and then feel absolutely fantastic on the back of it. And it really is great for setting up the weekend ahead. Of course, on a Saturday, I ask you guys to post in your pictures, your Saturday selfie, whatever activity you're doing, wherever you are, just to let us know how it's going, I'll add them to the social media across Do Running, and again, it's just another chance to keep motivating and inspiring, even when there's not a Do Daily episode. So that's the week to come, just before I get on with Monday motivation, what I will say is last week was a bit of a tricky one. So it's so important to be positive. We have to try to be positive. I've been speaking to a friend recently who's been feeling a little bit down, and he's been a little bit at odds with himself, and I've been trying to encourage them and say how important it is to make a choice. And I got a message today stating that it's going to try and be really positive, and that's fantastic. That's what I wanted to hear on a Monday morning. I'd mentioned throughout last week how much I need to make this conscious effort to be positive, because unconsciously we can slip into a bad place before we know it. So we've got to keep thinking about it. We've got to keep accepting and moving forward. And like I say, after my indifferent week last week, the one thing I could do by accepting it was indifferent, by accepting I wasn't in the best place, or the best place or the place I wanted to be, it meant that I could do the things that could put it right. When it's unconscious, you don't even realise, and before you know it, it's too late and things are almost beyond control. So like I say, this week is all about being positive and really embracing change and the future. I mentioned there about the government and the changes in the restrictions. It can only be a good thing. It can only be something that's going to build momentum, build us up, and give us all those things we used to take for granted again, the things we can really, really enjoy without having a second thought. And that's something we've not had now for a year, isn't it? So we've got to try and help ourselves be enthusiastic, look forward to what's happening, and make those changes. Today, of course, is International Women's Day, and it just got me thinking a little bit about why we have this. I'll be the first to admit I don't totally understand it from a woman's point of view. That's not on purpose. I'm a male at the end of the day, and I've never had to look at it from that side. But these things, by doing Do Daily, I want to sort of understand a lot more. And I mentioned earlier about the difficult situations arising in the news and things like that. And of course there's racism issues and people sort of arguing about this or that. And I think what we've kind of got to do is start really embracing each other and seeing everybody as one. I'm not the first person to say this. I know I'm not. Millions are making much more of an effort than I possibly can. And like I said, I don't understand it well enough. I'll be the first to admit. I apologise for my ignorance, but all I can try to do is understand. And that's what I've been doing today. I've asked Kay a couple of questions to try and understand it from that point of view, almost playing devil's advocate with some of the things I've seen which people don't like. There's a couple of tweets that big organisations have done where they've really got it wrong. One large fast food company put a woman's place is in the kitchen, so really bizarre. But what I could see the point they were trying to make, but what I needed to do was understand it from a woman's point of view. So I asked her the question, and it's important, if you don't understand these things, is to try and understand, isn't it? The most dangerous thing we can sort of say or do in life is say it's always been this way, so why change? We have to change. If there's people feeling anything less than equal, then there's definitely got to be change, whether it's the colour of somebody's skin, whether it's the gender, whether it's about religion or beliefs. We have to change to make them feel included. I'd like to think that Do Daily and Do Running is there for absolutely everybody, and it is in many ways, but being realistic, am I doing enough to involve everybody in terms of male, female? Absolutely. We've probably got more females than males, which doesn't matter. But in terms of other sort of issues that need addressing, could I do a little bit more? Possibly. But what I need to do is sort of embrace that, accept, just like I accept how I'm feeling, just like I accept I need to go and do some exercise because I need to lose weight at times, like you'd accept many things. I need to accept what I can do to make it better, and what I can do to help create a more positive environment. And I know if I could attract different sort of people from different backgrounds into the group, it would make it even better. Because I always say through DOdaily, one thing when you're not feeling great you can do is support and encourage others. There's too many people in the world tearing strips off each other. There's people who are not happy with their own situation, who try to pull each other down all the time and then complain that they don't feel good. Of course they're not going to feel good, because it's so negative. When you're helping people, you're being positive about what you can do, you're being positive about what they can do, and you're really driving society forward. You're driving yourself forward. You're helping people flourish into what they can be. And if everybody flourishes around us, this is what community is about. This is what Do Running's about. Right from day one, I've tried to express to people that if we can create an active and healthy environment in areas sometimes where that's less of a factor. I come from one of those areas, and that's where my drive to do that comes from. But if we can encourage this, it improves the whole community. People make better choices. People veer away from crime and tricky situations, and all the things that can get to us. And I think the biggest thing in my mind, what stops all this happening is the wrong approach to inclusiveness. People have got the wrong idea. I'm quite forthright in this opinion. We have to stop labeling people. We really have to stop labeling people. I've touched on it before when I spoke about health and mental health. The reason there's a stigma with mental health is because we call it mental health. We don't really use the word physical health. We just call it health. We're healthy, we're not healthy, but the reason the stigma comes is because the label's been stuck to it in terms of mental health. Why can't it all come under one bracket? Why can't we all be people? Whether you're a white person, a black person, whether you're a man or a woman, why should that matter? It absolutely shouldn't. And like I say, the more we sort of embrace and encourage change and accept what's happened, we can't change the past, but we have to sort of remember it, use it, and take it forward, and realise where we can build on their mistakes. I always say we can't be defined by things we can't control. One thing nobody control in life is the past. So whilst it's there, we almost have to sort of remember it, use it to a positive effect, and really drive things forward. The more we can support and encourage each other, I know by something as silly as doing DOdaily, people struggle to accept change. I used to have a thriving running club pre-lockdown, where people would come along, embrace the social side, really get the most out of the activity. That had to stop at some point because of the coronavirus, and then I've turned it into a virtual offering with different kinds of activity, all the things I've just run down, and people get a little bit standoffish. People are like, what's he doing that for? Why is he doing that? Well, basically I'm doing it to try and keep everybody together, to try and offer something for the same reasons, but to work within what I can, to work within the guidelines. But it's so hard for some to take. I can understand why it's so hard for people to embrace change, but we really have to make that effort. You have to make a conscious decision. We're all guilty of unconscious bias. You'll see things that make you think this or make you think that. You might have had a bad experience with a certain person, what tarnishes you. But again, what we have to do is sort of put that behind us. Every situation is unique. We have to see it that way, that we can make a difference through our own actions, and individually we can do that, and collectively, if we're doing it individually, things will change so much quicker. By labeling, by trying to segregate people, is not the answer. I'm not the first person to say this. People have been saying it for thousands of years probably, but it's so important that we start sort of fully embracing what's going on, trying to at least understand why people do certain things, embracing culture, religion, race, opinion, what people want to do. That's the biggest thing I've learned from this. Is I do daily because I really want to sort of do something for myself. While some don't get it, it's not stopping me. But what I can do is continually learn about some of these situations that need addressing, and why people are so sort of put off by dealing with them. Right now, we really need everybody to come together to create a positive environment. Why should women be getting less money than men? Why should men feel like they've done something wrong in the past? They shouldn't. We all should feel exactly the same, and until we really start sort of embracing it, I've touched on my own social media. I feel people are a little bit scared of talking about it. When I say people, I mean men. I think men are scared to embrace the day. There is an International Men's Day out there, but that doesn't matter right now, because today is about International Women's Day. Black Lives Matter is about Black Lives Matter. Whilst I don't understand these subjects fully, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to embrace, because that's the only thing I can do. I was brought up in an environment where these things were never spoken about, were never dealt with, so I'll have archaic, is that even a word, opinions on them, things I've got to consciously sort of cleanse myself off, get rid of. But unless I want to sort of understand, I want to develop, and I want to be positive about how we can all come together and create a better community, a better society, environment we live in, it's never going to change, is it? So by doing some of the things I spoke about today, by looking at why these things are important, International Women's Day absolutely matters. There's so many inspiring people out there. When I look at it myself, the 3 people who have inspired me more than absolutely anybody have been women. My grandma, my mum, and Kay, my girlfriend, who supports me every day in what I do. So how can I sort of put anything down to gender and try and think I'm better or above anybody else? I absolutely can't, can I? I've got those 3 people to be absolutely thankful for, and those people that have made me want to make a change and be better in the future. So that's all I'm saying, guys. Use those things. Let's get really, really positive. Use some of the things I've said today. Use the activity this week. Use the fact that if we try to embrace others and we help others, be part of what we do, be part of the same society. It's all about not labeling, and creating situations where you put everybody in the same scenario. Until people understand that, we're not going to get very far. What we need to do is somehow find a way of doing it. We can do it individually. I can do my bit through DOdaily and trying to encourage people from different sort of areas, different backgrounds, into the group, let them know that I'm there for them. I'm not quite sure how. I'll keep working on it. It's a continual development, but as long as I'm not taking a backward step, as long as I'm not standing still, I guess that's the most important thing, isn't it? So until tomorrow and Tuesday training, let's get out there, let's come together virtually to create a fantastic solidarity session that we can make the absolute most of. Try and understand what it's about, guys. That's the big message today. Try and understand how we can take these things forward. Just doing it.